Do you really think that helping whites see the root cause of racism
is going to stop it?
It's going to stop it, right?
I don't really think so. You see, I could wish and hope that it would, but at a, you know, perhaps a more analytical level or scientific level, if a person constructs a survival modality, you see, then chances are they're going to play that out. I think that the answer is going to come about because black people and other non-white people begin to understand, oh, I see, it's just like, you know, just like playing chess. You say, oh, I see they went into that opening, they're going to go into thus and so, you see, system of moves. And so from the black side, then the blacks would evolve patterns of behavior that would put that destructive behavior in check. You see, for example, black people can, by understanding white supremacy, they can consciously move into no squabbling and fighting amongst one another. You see, because if non-white people on the planet, just imagine, if non-white people on the planet Earth tomorrow morning stopped fighting each other, white supremacy would come to an end. Do you see? But that constantly pitting one group of non-whites against another. Do you see? North Korea, South Korea, North Vietnam, South Vietnam, all the squabbles in Lebanon, all the different units in Africa fighting, all the people in Central America fighting each other. Now that is how, do you see, that's one major way in which white supremacy is being maintained. But see, there are a lot of very deep issues. For example, once white supremacy is established, as we have it now in this area of the world, let's just look, so that I turn on my television and let's say I could be a black child. The television is turned on and I see white, 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 white. I never see an image of myself as a black child. Do you see? Or I might see an image of myself if I'm a black male child and I'll have a hat turned on backwards and my eyes will be bucked looking up. Do you see what I'm saying? Those are images of inadequacy. And so the very television is teaching me to hate myself and to admire what it is that I see. Do you see? Where I go to school and I open the textbook and I'm in the first grade, or in kindergarten I open up the textbook, or in nursery school and I'm looking at the little bunnies. Do you see? And they're all white. Do you see? I don't see anything that is dignifying black. Do you see? If I learn the English language, or if I learn any language in the white supremacy system and culture, do you see? That's French, English, all of the languages that are spoken by people who classify themselves as white, do you see, use black as the major pejorative. Do you see? The stock market falls and then we call that Black Monday or Tuesday. Black people didn't have anything to do with it. Do you see? Or if white people are engaging in demeaning, degrading sexual activities, they will call it kinky. Do you see? Well, that's supposed to be what black people do. Black people won't even know about any such sexual practices. Do you see? So all kinds of negativity is dumped around the word black, so that when a black person learns that language, they are really learning self-hate. And as they learn self-hate, and as they look at the movies and look at the television and look at the magazines and look at the newspaper, do you see, they're learning to hate black. And so then I go to relate to you, do you see, as a black person. And so my behavior has got to be destructive until I consciously begin to understand more objectively about what is happening, do you see? And then I say, even in the presence of the white supremacy dynamic, I will to respect myself and to love myself and highly regard myself as a black person. And I will, meaning I'm going to take conscious discipline control over my behavior and relate to other black people in a constructive manner.
Okay, we're going to move on a little further down the road on this, but what role do poor whites play in the white supremacy structure?
Well, do you see, you have white people with higher incomes and white people with lower incomes, and they can all come together and practice white supremacy. I think I remember hearing something about George Wallace, and I'm remembering, and so it may not be totally accurate, but I think it's accurate enough. He said that when he first went into politics in the state of Alabama, that he thought that the chance for the poor white person would be to come together with black people, just a common cause to improve education, improve health, improve housing, improve roads and whatnot. And he said he found out that the white persons were not interested necessarily. You see, that was not a priority interest. The priority interest was to feel that they were better than black people. You see, now that I understand that in terms of white genetic survival, because that was true not only for the low-income white person, it was also true for the upper-income white person. So I don't make those distinctions, do you see, and say, well, okay, lower-income white people are so-called bad, and then, upper-income white people are not. No, across the economic spectrum.
How did the attempted Jewish extinction in Germany help you in your analysis of white supremacy?
Well, I'll tell you, this is, I think, very interesting history. I went to Antioch College in Yellow Springs, Ohio as an undergrad. And my parents, when I graduated in 1957, my parents said, what do you want for graduation? And I said, send me to Germany. That was 12 years after the end of the Second World War. I said, send me to Germany, because I wanted to live with German people and ask them, did you know what you were doing to your neighbors? You see, so my parents sent me to Germany. And I lived in Germany and would talk to German people and would ask them. And all the German people, they were nice. Francis, come and live in our house. So that was a very, very important kind of information, that people could be nice on the surface, do you see, but they could destroy their neighbor. It was only later that I kept saying, well, what does this term, what does anti-Semitism mean? What does this term Semite really mean? If you look in the dictionary, the word Semite, they say somebody who speaks a Semitic language, but, every third grader knows you don't define a word with the same word. And so I thought about that word, because I consider myself a student of what happened in Germany. Read everything about what was that behavior about.